welcome to the very first episode of Meetings for Action. So we're going to talk about why Meetings for Action exist and why now. So we have a couple of questions that my friend is going to ask why, and we want to make people grasp about this podcast. So
why are you so serious?
Yeah, I'm very serious because the content that I'm going to talk is very serious.
No, you do not need to be that
Yes.
serious. Welcome for Meetings in Action. Indeed, this is our first podcast. So we're going to try to talk about, as you said, why we need this podcast now, why it's definitely relevant. We're going to try to answer that question well. And we're going to try to see also what we hope to do with this podcast. So at the end of this meeting, we should have a specific actions, meetings for action anyways.
As the name
says. So hopefully by the end of this meeting, we have a clearer understanding of what this podcast will do, and we will have specific actions that we can take after this meeting. This has been a conversation we've been having for a while now.
Yeah, for the last 6 months.
6 months.
6 months.
And
so you can see, we are investing high on it.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just good to just jump on the water and start. So let's start by answering the main question.
The main question
at heart. Why Meetings for Action?
Yeah. So we built this Meetings for Action. Why we become with this name. You can take a slogan, but a very fantastic one.
Yeah,
Meetings for Action, from dialogue to decision. So, we understand that Ethiopia, with 130 million people, its economy has already climbed into the third largest economy in sub-Saharan Africa, a landscape with unmatched heritage, vast natural resource, again, huge number of young population. So we need to have a podcast which can clearly communicate us about the financial sectors that Ethiopia is undergoing, the socio-economic activities.
Yes.
So even though we talk about the financial sectors, the changes, the reforms, everything, but we want to make it action-oriented. That's why we come up with Meetings for Action, which is dedicated entirely result-driven and action-oriented podcast.
I think so. Truth be told, as much as possible, there is so much that needs to be done in the country, and there's so much potential in the country. Actions need to be taken, and since we spend so much of our time in meetings, then I think this is the perfect name for this podcast.
Exactly.
I look forward definitely to discussing with you in depth about the financial sector. I look forward to discussing about other changes as well that are going on in the country, but definitely we want to cater to the international audience. For those people that are interested about Ethiopia, I look forward to seeing what are the things that we can discuss about to bring lights on.
Yeah, there is a saying, why we say meeting is for action, from dialogue to decision. So if a meeting does not end with deadlines or how to do clear directions and then results-oriented driven things, you can call it. It's like a coffee break that you didn't ask for.
Yeah.
So that's why we came up with an idea that we should have a dialogue that can possibly change it into action. So that's why we came up for.
Let me ask you a question. What was the best meeting you've ever had?
Well, this is a very good question. So the best meeting that I ever had is there was a project called virtual banking in the banking industry. I have been one part of that project.
Yeah.
So we were having like a lot of projects every day because the vendor was from US company.
Yeah.
So it's called NCR Corporation, by the way. All ATMs like that you have seen in the city is brought from that company. So we have been like having meetings every day, but we end up with deadline. You don't know when to do and how to do it. So the meeting was just dialogue with no clear instruction. So we took like a month on one certain point.
Okay.
So a month, imagine.
The meeting lasted a month?
The meeting lasted a month. Every day we're going to have that meeting, but never put any direction how to do it.
Yeah.
Again, another day we call for a meeting, a WebEx meeting, by the way.
Yes.
And then we discuss. Again, we don't have any clear set of instruction and action orienting.
Yes.
So, that thing, it came to in my mind that we as Ethiopian, we are bored of meetings. We have beautiful ceremonies, meetings,
I
conferences,
think it's
seminars.
global. I don't think it's
global,
just Ethiopian. I think everybody's
global,
bored of meetings
exactly.
after meetings
So
that
we
don't
need
lead
to
to
change this
anything.
mindset that
Yes.
whenever we have meetings,
Yeah.
this meeting has to be changed into action.
Yes.
We need to say it to the culture, I think.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why meeting is for action is now.
But just for the
ready.
record, I asked you what was your best experience in a meeting, and you told me the worst. I'm just putting you on the spot there.
You are putting me on the spot. I see that.
No, like I agree with you. Like truth be told, yes, I also have I'm in many meetings all the time. I think the best meeting I've ever had is where everybody that is in that meeting feels involved. They also have some sort of clear takeaway action as an individuals or as institutions, where at the end of the day you get to say, hi, we have met for this reason, and we have decided 1, 2, 3 things going forward.
Yes.
And there are certain workshops that do this very, very well. There are others that we just meet, we don't know what we take away, and then we just move along after that.
With the same token, I have also a good experience on meeting. We have been forming a fintech company. It was a remittance company.
Yeah.
So we were supposed to set out all criteria to start the business, because there was an application also need to be developed.
Yeah.
So as you say, like sometimes you get good meetings where everybody is accountable, they're involved with actually participate, and at the end of the meeting, everybody shares responsibility and come up with follow-up and description, and finally we make that remittance company into the ground. So some are like that, but most of the time meetings are just meetings for the sake of meeting.
Exactly.
So that's why we came here.
Definitely. So, but if we are going to start like a podcast targeted at a global, not just local, but also global audience, so what are the conversations that we need to talk about?
Yeah, so it's very important. So,
That's,
when you think like us, especially when you come up with a podcast, as the name says it all, meetings for action, from dialogue to decision. So we want to come up with something real dialogue that can possibly change into action, and we want to help the people, especially the stakeholders, all stakeholders. So we believe that stakeholders for this podcast will be bank CEOs, innovators, fintech companies, international donors, foreign investors, diaspora community even. They want to know about Ethiopian economy, by the way. So we want them to act, to watch it, to listen it, and then based on our credible and scientific analysis, so we want them to decide and act. That's what we want.
Something that is missing from our podcasts right now. Like I'm listening, I didn't want to cut you off, but I'm gonna go get myself a paper and a pen, because meetings, one of the things that they lack is people don't know the things that they talk about, and then we get
before that. Please give this man. Give me this man.
I'll be
Cheers.
there. Cheers. So we need to actually note down exactly what we talk about. That way we don't end up talking about everything and nothing at the same time. So I'm going to take one of my pens here. So I'm going to take
questions
notes.
will come. They're saying meetings for action, but they are not dropping down points.
Yes,
simple
they need specific points. Yes. So I'm going to make sure to put them down on paper. Wonderful. So, like I said, we've been talking about this for a while. And at the end of the day, we also have to talk about, we need to set expectations.
Yeah.
What can meeting for action do, and what can meeting for action cannot do? That is very also important to discuss.
Yeah, so we expect meetings for action to give credible analysis about the socio-economic activities that are undergoing in Ethiopia for all stakeholders, whether it is a foreign investor from UK or from USA, whether it is a university student in Addis Ababa. We want them to have common and basic understanding about the financial changes that are happening in Ethiopia, and it can help them in accordance with their knowledge interest to invest in Ethiopia.
Yeah, but you can imagine there are so many things that are going on right now that us saying or claiming that we want people to have a basic understanding, that will take us in so many directions.
Exactly.
So there are things that we should be able to say that we're going to do, and other things that we can't do. So as much as possible, I agree. We should, when we take an in-depth conversation on a certain topic, we will definitely make sure that people know exactly what we are talking about. We will make sure that they know how it will help them personally or as institutions,
Exactly.
and also try to also find out what we will not cover. That is also important to discuss on meetings as well. When we discuss about Ethiopia, there is so much that needs to be discussed for a global audience as well.
Exactly.
In many meetings, in many organizations, we always say, at least between Ethiopians, that Ethiopia is a different country.
Yes.
It's a different country. And I feel like that is not the case. You can disagree with me on this.
I know.
I know that every country believes that they are different on their own, and we say that we are different. But if we have conversations that with other countries, we will be able to also uncover similarities. We will understand that we are not technically a separate entity, but we have things that are specifically that join all of us together. Maybe
Exactly.
why should we reinvent certain wheels when somebody is doing it even better? That is something that we could do on this
You know,
part.
like, I mean, you raised a good point, by the way. I want to add some point on it. So, when you talk about Ethiopia, so we are not talking about the financial sector only, by the way. We are going to cover also in another season about the tourism, about the infrastructure, in every sector, by the way. So, I just want to take one point. So, we know that the financial sector is changing for the better, especially since 2018. We have seen a lot of changes. The launch of Ethiopian stock exchange market, the privatization of the private sector. You know, you can tell now, like before 2018, we have like one telecom operator. Now we have two, Safaricom and Ethio Telecom. So they are competing on the basis of speed and price. You can see that. So the banking
So many
sector is
things to be
open
said
for
on
the foreign investors. You can see that some banks from abroad are interested now. Of the banks like KCB, Kenya Commercial Bank, Standard Bank, they have shown interest to come up and operate in the domestic operation of Ethiopian banking industry. So, as it is already stated in the reform, so any bank, any foreign investor, they can acquire like 49 stake in domestic banking operation, and they can start their operation or like that.
So cool. That we'll have time to talk in depth
Exactly,
about the
but the
financial
point
sector.
is, let me get back to the point.
What's the
So
point?
Ethiopia is unique. It's because not about the financial sector, but the tourism. For example, for any country to attract tourism from abroad, you need to have three things: culture, nature, and heritage. We have this all, by the way.
Yeah.
No country in the world has three of the criteria. Ethiopia has, by the way.
But like, imagine this: every single, like, forget countries, even a product. Each product, even organizations, every organization will tell you, I have three things that differentiates me from other countries.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we don't have differentiation points, but technically, if you talk about all companies, they also have many common things.
Of course.
Like you can talk about, they have the same organizational, they have organizational structure, they have people working for them, they have a product or a service and so on. There are many things, but of course, each organization is also different.
Exactly.
So just like Ethiopia, I'm pretty sure we have things that are unique. We've got the walia. Nobody else has the walia. I admit that. We have certain things that are different.
Exactly. So that's why.
But that does not make us
we're going to
unique.
discuss a variety of points in this podcast.
I agree. So what are the specific changes? Why now? What is different here? What is similar somewhere else?
Exactly.
So those are things that we
what
need
are the
to
impact
uncover.
on individual, the companies, even the country in general? So
Yeah.
we're gonna unpack everything about the financial transformation
I love
and
that,
again
yeah.
socio-economic.
So what does it mean for the average Ethiopian? What does it mean
Exactly.
for people that are coming here that want to invest? What does it mean for governments? What does it mean for institutions?
Exactly.
So those are the kind of things that we
Even the
definitely-
financial inclusion. So we're talking about now digital transformation,
Yeah.
So we make sure that people who are in remote areas, in rural areas, which account 70% of the country's population, by the way, we make sure that they are not left behind in this transformation as well. So we're going to discuss much more on this as well.
We will try to make good, reliable research on where Ethiopia is, because as much as possible, like it's a global village, so there are many institutions that are responsible for the development of the country. So as much as possible, we try to create or give the platform for new knowledge, for good knowledge to come so that at least the different stakeholders can do their jobs well.
Exactly.
So as much as possible, we could do that. I
Yeah.
like that. Okay. In
Next
that
one.
case, I think it's high time that we start discussing about like who we are, like to talk to say this
That's
like
very
okay,
important.
we think for
People
action,
might
but
ask you now, who the hell they are?
so
They're
I
talking
like
about broader issues, other
Truth be
people
told,
of
yes,
that.
yes,
Yeah. So I'm not good at expressing myself, by the way. So
you're not.
Yeah,
No, just talk
yeah,
about yourself.
so-
I think that is one another differentiation point about
Exactly.
Ethiopians. Talking about ourselves in many places
yeah,
is
they say
something
that.
that's
No, I'm not good at it. It's better other people talk about me instead of.
yeah.
We should change this mindset as well.
But
So coming to the question.
who are you?
Well, so my name is Tadas. So I have worked in the banking industry in the finance sector or almost over eight years of experience. I have been participating in different projects in the financial sector, both in banking, in mining as well. So again, I'm a co-founder at Arcuramit. I don't know if people know it or
Arcuramit,
not.
I do
Yeah,
not know.
Arcuramit. You should know it. by the
I
way.
should. You
You
should.
should know as a co-founder.
No, we've
Yes.
we've talked to each other. First time you mentioned
Exactly.
this. Okay.
So simply, people can understand it. I'm a banking professional with 8 years of experience in the financial sector. Again, I'm a co-founder at Arcuramit, currently working on AI implementation, project implementation. So I had to various hats on a portfolio, I think. So
yeah.
it's simple.
Yeah.
And how about you?
I mean,
People wanna know.
we met because we found each other on one of those meetings.
Exactly.
And I for a living now for the last at least 5 years I run meetings. Actually, our slogan is we make meetings fun. So I'm a professional facilitator. Originally, I have a background in international relations and a master's in marketing. So in the last couple of years, I find myself going and running meetings after meetings in different sectors. So a couple of weeks ago, I was in a meeting of the energy sector people,
Yeah.
where they were telling us, like 1 person is dying every minute in Africa because we don't have clean cooking solutions. So we started this conversation about 15 minutes ago. We have lost 15 people in Africa because we don't have cleaning solutions. And then you go to another meeting, and then you find out that you are in an agricultural meeting. And as much as we all love to say that Ethiopia is endowed with all the natural resources in the country, you find out that most of our land is actually in danger, because it's either the land is getting degraded, we have poor infrastructures here and there. So in these meetings you uncover a whole lot of problems that only specific professionals talk about,
Yeah.
but the general public, of course, we only get to focus on our specific things. So
I bet you what you're gonna bring this topic into our podcast one day.
I hope
Simple
so.
like
I
that.
hope so, because
Simple
we
like that.
need to have
So as you say,
conversations.
it's
we need to have-
underutilization, misutilization, and protection failure, as you said.
I remember one in a big conference about finance. One person said, the smallest bank in Kenya can buy the biggest bank in Ethiopia. So these conversations are happening behind every single conferences in Ethiopia. Addis Ababa is definitely a conference center right
Exactly.
now. We've got conferences after conferences, but these conversations deserve a platform where we get to talk about them in depth here.
By the way, speaking of the banking,
Yeah.
I know we're gonna have a separate session for it, but
We need
we just need few big banks instead of more than 32 banks. It's
Yeah.
huge, by the way.
Yeah.
Most of them, even they didn't meet the national bank capital criteria still.
Okay.
Imagine
So,
the shotgun
Like I said-
measure. You will come there. So that's why we need these types of platform where we
There needs
discuss
to be-
big concepts for the community as well as for the companies. By the way,
I
So
agree,
we need
I
a
agree.
bank.
So we
which
need
is
to-
big.
We need this place where we at least take a specific point and try to uncover what needs to be taken, what action needs to be taken. But and in accordance to what we were discussing earlier, what can we do and what can we do. Definitely, we can take out recommendations. We can list down the things that need to be done, and certain things.
Exactly, but just to add my academic preparation, maybe, if they're interested. So my first degree was accounting and finance.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Hey,
I have no.
You have said that,
I'm gonna say this
you
in
say
public
that.
right now.
I just feel that I didn't say that.
No. Like, people are going to be, because I worked a whole lot with accountants, but I have no accounting background. I'm so happy that you have accounting background.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful. I'm admitting it.
Yeah, first degree accounting and finance. Again, 2 second degree, project management 1, and marketing management 2.
Yeah. So wonderful.
It's a privilege. It's a privilege to sit with a guy who has 2 masters, isn't it?
No, you're kidding. Especially accounting. I have so much deep respect for accounting. I don't have much knowledge about accounting. Maybe I've taken a 2 or 3 days course about accounting. I'm so happy that
that's why I'm in the financial sector.
You're covering us with that. I just have many questions. I'm a business owner that is doing so many mistakes.
Please.
Many mistakes in terms of accounting and finance, and you can imagine all the rules and regulations that are happening right now. I need somebody, like to not just me, everybody that is in business, everybody that is in private sector right now is going crazy because limited knowledge about accounting and finance is taking.
That's very important.
That needs definitely. So
just
I'm very
make
happy.
Sure the paycheck is good.
Isn't it funny? We're already starting a podcast, but this feels like the first time I'm meeting you because all of this information I had no ideas.
Yeah.
This is definitely like an arranged marriage where we just dated for 1 day and then we start a podcast together. That's wonderful. So I look forward definitely, and if we have a conversation later on why we are going to focus on the finance sector first, is definitely because I look forward to getting at least some of your questions in it, because you live in that sector. You've been living in it purely, solely. I know I've been coming in and out on it.
The financial sector nowadays is becoming sophisticated, honestly, in Ethiopia, where it needs scientific engagement as well as great attention. So if you want to become a businessman or if you want to do great things in the financial sector, you have to know the financial sector very well. So
I know most people only talk about how much loan are you going to give me, but I know it's much broader than that.
Imagine getting loan is like a very easy thing. It doesn't need even to know much more about the bank industry.
We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully, because there's so much to be discussed. But I know as every time I meet my bankers, they say, "Do you want a loan?" And I don't know if I don't. There are so many things to discuss and to think about when we get a loan. You just can't just take a loan for the sake of getting.
We're gonna unpack it when we have.
I love for that. Finance is definitely one thing that is changing. I know there is also because world politics is also it's there. I don't believe that we should focus. I think this podcast should be on things that we can change. So as much as possible, it's only on socio-economic things, not politics.
No, I don't agree on this, because the name itself says so. We're saying meeting is for action. So we are going to discuss every point that are happening in Ethiopia.
Yeah.
We're going to bring that dialogue on this platform. We're going to discuss about it. We're going to invite guests from that specific area. They can come and talk. But the point is, what they talk has to be changed into action. That's my thing here.
That's your area. But I feel like discussing about politics just takes you in too many directions and never helps you take actions.
Yeah, like
focusing.
Don't you
on
feel that
reforms,
socio-economic activities have relation with politics? What do you say?
Don't get me wrong. I have a background in political science.
You see?
Everything is politics.
Tell us more about that. Tell us more about that.
I think no. What I want to say is, like, politics means who gets what, when, and how. So technically, you can talk about anything. We are talking about politics. What I mean is, let's try to at least uncover many other aspects of transformations or changes that need to happen in the country, and so that we can lay a good foundation for later on discussing other political issues. So as much as possible.
Exactly. So we're going to focus on
that needs to be. I believe that needs to be the case. Thank you very much for not pushing it too long. So During this meeting, we were able to discuss on why we want to start this session. We definitely agreed on the fact that we need a platform where in English we get to we shed lights on some of the big transformation or some of the changes that are coming in Ethiopia, that are going on in Ethiopia. We have had the chance to discuss that certain things are definitely changing. We have big headlines, but we are not also seeing the real change on the ground. So we need to have a place where we get to understand where does it stop. Like we have a big announcement here, but the execution is lagging. So maybe this platform could be a place where we can uncover where the chain is broken, where are the things that are not moving, and
Exactly. So
we have definitely discussed on why we want to focus on the financial sector first. First and foremost, because everything needs money. Before we discuss any other kinds of transformation, that's what we need to do. And definitely because you've got that background as well, this is where we feel like we can discuss many
yeah,
things in advance
yeah.
before
Just to
going.
add one point,
Yeah.
as we have said it a lot of times, finance is the central nervous system of a modern society.
Yeah.
Simple like that. But people misconcept that this finance is about banking or investing. It's way more than that.
Yeah.
Finance affects us. It determines the way we live, the way we own a company, the way we operate. For everything, finance is needed. So even finance is a true stellar of governance. So in a country like Ethiopia, if you wanna see a good financial system, we're gonna have a good country, a good facility,
Yeah.
roads, dams. Every infrastructure can be built by the finance.
Yeah.
So we need to have a stable, strong financial sector. So we want to create that. We want to help the people, even the government. We want to help to create this. So we're going to create this platform where these types of top tier issues can be discussed on this platform.
Yeah.
So that's why we start from finance.
Followingly, on the following episodes, we will start having some deep dives on the sector.
Yes.
Definitely, maybe on the following episode, we get to talk about some of the big changes that have been happening in the financial sector in the last 10 years or so, what they mean for the average Ethiopian, what they mean for the country, and also hopefully what are the things that we can expect, and maybe from then on we can start talking about what direction we need to go, who we need to discuss with to uncover what is missing between having a great objective and putting it on the ground.
That's very important. So that's what we are going to see in this episode as well. So we have seen a number of changes in the financial sector, a lot of changes. So we have to make sure that these people understand these changes properly, which can help them to decide proper decision, to help them to have their financial decision and recommendations in order of their interest, and as well as you said, why most of the reforms are not implemented in a way they were intended. So we are going to unpack this thing, and we're going to dive deep into these concepts. I'm sure we're going to have a separate session for this.
Wonderful. We will make sure that this podcast also goes to other sectors of the country. Like we said earlier, there are so many things that we need to talk about. I'm sure if we bring in any professional, they have so many interesting facts that they want to tell us about their sector.
Yeah.
So for any person that is interested to know about how and where Ethiopia is and what it's doing and what makes us unique and what makes us different, then this should be a wonderful place to be.
We have also very crucial sector for our economy. You can take agriculture, health sector, energy, mining, manufacturing. So these are very crucial for country development. So we're not going to talk about financial sector and the rest of it. No. But as we all know, for example, agriculture is the backbone of Ethiopian economy. But the point is, with this digital transformation, are we going to make the agriculture lead technology? That's very important. So we're gonna uncover these sectors one by one. That's why the season is going to be multi-season. or
Like I
something
said,
that.
when you bring in a professional from
Yeah.
each of these sectors, they have so much information that everybody else needs to know. I think that they may be definitely relevant for our audience and also for ourselves.
Exactly.
So-
And don't forget that the international community want to invest in different sectors. So
Exactly.
we
want people
we
to
want to
come
open
and
their eyes
invest.
that Ethiopia is a country
Definitely.
with various opportunities where we
Yeah.
unpack and uncover these hidden resources and opportunities that Ethiopia can possibly provide to them.
Yeah, we need to be as focused as possible on and honest as possible. On
That's
what's
our
the
motto.
pros,
That's
what
our
the
motto, by
cons,
the way.
and what are the specific things that needs to be done. So, next episode, what is our main assignment? We're going to talk in depth about the financial sector
Exactly.
in
So-
greater depth. What is your assignment? What is my assignment?
Well, so Ethiopia is undergoing various changes in the financial sector. So in the next episode, we're gonna see the fundamental changes that happened since 2018. We're gonna see one by one, starting from the launch of stock exchange market up to the fintech innovation, the privatization. Again, we're gonna see as well about AI, simple like that. So we're gonna see all the changes deep one by one. So the next episode will be I will be giving scientific and practical analysis because I live in the financial sector, and for you,
In that case, can I maybe be the one that the devil's advocate? Can I come to you with different questions on those?
exactly
Maybe some challenges.
the some challenge,
And
please.
maybe we will be able to understand what we know, what we don't know,
Yes.
and what we need to find out.
Exactly. So we're
going
gonna find
forward.
out the myth and the reality.
Hopefully,
So we're gonna
yes.
see, and these
Okay.
changes, we got two things: the myth and the reality. That's
Yeah.
what we're going to uncover and see it in detail. So I'm sure you're going to come up with tough questions.
That's because at the end of the day, like I said,
And
I'm not an expert on the matter.
I'm ready to get corrected if I'm wrong. We got a fact checker, don't forget.
We have a fact checker.
We got-
We need to
yeah.
have a fact
We
checker
got a
so
fact
that we
checker.
don't say anything, we don't mess up on anything else.
Yeah.
And then we can talk about, we can see which directions that we go from there. So it's up to you to get prepared on what are the major changes on the financial sector the last almost 10 years. It's up to me to find what are the specific critical questions that need to be asked.
Say no more.
So that we can be able to challenge each other, and definitely. So for our audience, maybe for those that are listening, and if you like what we're talking about, please give us your feedback, give us your comments. If there's any questions on specifically on the financial sector that we need to focus on, please make sure that you put it you send it to us through our LinkedIn, YouTube channels. We look forward to getting those questions. So on the next meeting, we will at least talk about in details on what are the major changes in the financial sector, and we look forward to creating a season of specifically dedicated to the financial sector. So the next meeting hopefully is going to create specific actions that we need to take to uncover, or what are the things that interest us more on the financial sector. What does it really mean for you, our audience, for the average Ethiopian, for the policymaker, for the investor? We try to uncover that in the first season of Meetings for Action. So if there is any comment, feedback, questions that you have for us, we look forward to getting them. Tadi, I think
So
we should conclude.
So I want to say them, they engage, watch, listen, and act. That's what we want. So you can follow us in our social media platforms: YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok. We got everything, right?
Yeah, we should.
You can reach out to us. See you soon in our next
hopefully you
episode.
like it. Thank you very much.